Welcome to today's journey through the art of happiness, where we explore the wisdom of the Dalai Lama, combined with the insights of Dr. Howard Cutler, a psychiatrist, as they delve into what it means to live a happy life. This book is a dialogue between East and West, blending Tibetan Buddhist philosophy with psychological approaches to help us understand, pursue, and maintain true happiness. The book opens with a powerful message: happiness is the purpose of life. According to the Dalai Lama, all humans have an innate desire to be happy, and this drive forms the foundation for everything we do. He believes that happiness is attainable through mental training and developing the right attitudes. Rather than seeking happiness solely through external sources, we must look inward to cultivate compassion, empathy, and an optimistic outlook. In the first chapter, Dr. Cutler asks the Dalai Lama how he maintains his calm, serene nature, despite facing exile and adversity. The Dalai Lama explains that happiness is achieved not through avoiding suffering but by cultivating a compassionate, warm-hearted approach to life. He encourages us to consider every experience, even the painful ones, as opportunities for growth. According to him, suffering can actually be a catalyst for positive change, allowing us to develop resilience and empathy for others. He explains that while suffering is inevitable, how we respond to it is within our control. By reframing our difficulties, we can gain strength and maintain peace, rather than allowing negative emotions to dominate us. The book continues by exploring the significance of relationships in our pursuit of happiness. The Dalai Lama emphasizes the importance of kindness, compassion, and patience in fostering meaningful connections with others. He explains that genuine, lasting happiness comes from helping others and connecting with them deeply. When we prioritize the happiness of those around us, we strengthen our own sense of purpose and satisfaction. The Dalai Lama also discusses how anger, jealousy, and hatred damage our relationships and lead to unhappiness. By cultivating compassion and patience, we can free ourselves from these negative emotions, allowing us to experience deeper, more fulfilling connections. According to the Dalai Lama, the more we practice empathy and understanding, the more peaceful and content we become. Another core concept of the art of happiness is the importance of mental discipline and resilience. The Dalai Lama suggests that our minds are like gardens. If we don't tend to them, they will become overgrown with negative thoughts. Through regular practices such as meditation and self-reflection, we can gain control over our minds and cultivate a more positive outlook on life. Meditation, he argues, allows us to observe our thoughts without judgment, helping us become aware of the negative patterns that can lead to unhappiness. By training our minds, we can choose to focus on positive aspects of our lives, rather than being consumed by negativity. In one chapter, Dr. Cutler brings up the issue of self-esteem, asking the Dalai Lama how we can maintain confidence without falling into arrogance. The Dalai Lama emphasizes the importance of having a balanced view of oneself. He explains that humility, coupled with self-acceptance, allows us to see our strengths and weaknesses objectively. Rather than relying on external validation, he encourages us to cultivate an inner sense of worth. By focusing on our intrinsic value, rather than our achievements or material wealth, we can maintain a steady sense of self-worth and avoid the constant ups and downs of seeking approval from others. The Dalai Lama also discusses the difference between pleasure and happiness. While pleasure is often tied to physical sensations and is fleeting, true happiness is a deeper, lasting state of contentment. According to the Dalai Lama, relying on sensory pleasures for happiness leads to dissatisfaction, as these pleasures are temporary and can often create a craving for more. Instead, we should focus on inner contentment, which comes from developing a compassionate heart and a peaceful mind. He emphasizes that happiness rooted in compassion and altruism is much more sustainable than happiness derived from physical or material sources. Throughout the book, the Dalai Lama and Dr. Cutler address common obstacles to happiness, such as fear, anger, and insecurity. The Dalai Lama explains that fear is often rooted in a sense of disconnection from others, while anger is a response to perceived threats. By practicing compassion, he argues, we can overcome these emotions. He encourages us to see others as fundamentally similar to ourselves, sharing the same desires and struggles. When we view others with compassion, our feelings of fear and anger diminish, allowing us to approach situations more calmly and rationally. One profound lesson from the art of happiness is the idea that happiness is a skill that can be developed. The Dalai Lama likens it to physical exercise. Just as we can strengthen our muscles through practice, we can strengthen our capacity for happiness through mental discipline and intentional choices. By developing habits of compassion, gratitude, and patience, we gradually become more resilient and happier. Dr. Cutler highlights the psychological basis for this, explaining that positive thoughts and emotions can create neural pathways that reinforce happiness, making it easier to maintain over time. In the concluding chapters, the book turns to the topic of spirituality and its role in happiness. The Dalai Lama clarifies that spirituality does not necessarily mean religion, rather, it is an internal process of developing our moral and ethical foundation. By cultivating values such as honesty, compassion, and generosity, we create a life filled with purpose and meaning. He suggests that, regardless of religious beliefs, anyone can cultivate a spiritual life that brings happiness. He argues that spiritual growth is integral to our overall well-being, as it allows us to connect with something greater than ourselves. In summary, the art of happiness provides valuable insights into the nature of happiness and the practices that lead to a fulfilling life. The Dalai Lama's teachings remind us that true happiness is found within, through compassion, patience, and a calm mind. While we may face challenges, cultivating a compassionate and resilient heart enables us to rise above them. The book encourages readers to adopt practices that foster inner peace and lasting happiness, such as meditation, self-reflection, and compassion for others. Ultimately, the Dalai Lama's message is clear: happiness is attainable for all, but it requires effort, mindfulness, and a dedication to personal growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the art of happiness by the Dalai Lama and Howard Cutler. If you found these insights meaningful, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more summaries of life-changing books,